we're going to speak about something quite serious. I think it can lead to a wider conversation about just the industry in general. About I told you to look into like the Pokimane stuff right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, to the audience that don't know what's happened, pretty much. It's a really, really weird scenario because for one, I don't actually know what the main criminal in this situation gets out of this. So pretty much, this bloke who's in the YouTube, Twitch industry, just the social media space, he was friends with Pokimane, he worked with Pokimane, but he's been going around the YouTube space, and I'm only laughing because of how fucking obscure it is. He's been going around telling people that he was in a relationship with Pokimane, but he's been using that to get things out of other women in the social media space, but also fans of Pokimane, and he's even been making up fake conversations and creating deep fake images of Pokimane and sending that to other streamers and just fans out there to get things out of them. It's one bizarre. It's such a wild story because for one, what do you even get from that? Like realistically, what can come from that of any form of benefit, right?
Yeah, that is the world's saddest man.
Yeah, it's like I can just imagine it, like you think that somebody would do some shit like that would be like some sad, freaky like Reddit nerd who has like a massive neck beard. But the reality is this is apparently somebody high up in the social media space.
Yeah, it's the most like poorly executed case of trying to take advantage of people I've ever seen.
I mean, what the fuck did he think he was going to get from it? It's like genuinely wild. Like realistically, how did you think that this was going to end up well for you? Like for one, Pokimane's like the big doll. Like, do you know what I mean? Like she is like the biggest female streamer, I'm pretty sure. Fair play to her for coming out and speaking about it. There's been like conversation about whether she should have dropped the name or not, but like there's probably a multitude of reasons to why she could.
Like just from a standpoint of trying to like court someone and get to know someone better, to like try and get into a relationship with them or whatever. If you got like darker motives, like whatever. But the worst way you can do that is by going, oh, look at this person that I claim to be in a relationship with.
Yeah, I don't understand this. He's gone to other girls to like get nudes from them by saying, look at my deep fake nudes. I mean, I know he's not saying they're deep fake, he's saying they're legit, but look at my photos of Pokimane. It's like, what? How does that even work? This is like the worst plan. Like, can you imagine like going up to like some random girl and being like, look at these fucking naked photos of my girlfriend. Do you want to chat? Like,
it'd be the equivalent of someone messaging me and going, look at this knob pic Fraser sent me.
Yeah, it's like what? How are you even meant to respond to that? But it's also like, how is somebody in the industry doing this? Because this is a guy. He has connections. Like he is somebody who has like gotten them work and brand deals. I imagine from what she was saying, and I'm like, for one, like. How is he even in this position?
It's incredibly sketchy, and it's also like you're never going to get away with doing something like that.
It almost doesn't feel real. Like, obviously, it is real. Like I'm not doubting the story, but I'm saying like it's so stupid that it doesn't feel real.
When you do behaviour like that scummy and like you execute it like that badly.
Yeah.
It's
just insane.
And I'm not saying fair play if he did it like well, because it is just an awful thing to do.
I swear every single week there is like a new thing of this guy took advantage of this person or this person took advantage of this person, and it's like site wide at this point. But Critical was saying in his video, the video I sent you, he thinks that it's a Twitch person because pretty much the people that run Twitch, not all of them obviously, but there are some weird people at Twitch, man. Like they just, I don't know, I think because they run a site which has a lot of women on who are very popular, I think that they think because they're in that position of power, they can use that to get to them and like, oh, I can help Pokimane out and maybe she'll like me or something.
I will say, not trying to be mean, but the people that are probably quite high up on Twitch and like a lot of people are probably
fucking losers.
They're like men that have probably never like spoken to a girl face to face.
If you're creating deep, like, not sorry to interrupt, but if you're creating deep fakes with somebody to send into another girl to be like, oh, do you want to see my tush deal? Like that, that is just like not a normal thing to do. Like you don't get to know somebody by sending them somebody else's nudes. That's a crime.
If you spoke to any of them people face to face, I think they'd be struggling big time.
Yeah,
because you clearly have no social skills.
Well, the
whatsoever.
thing is, they hadn't actually met Pokimane. That's what she said in that video. Yeah. She was like, "I've never met this person." He was like a brand person. I think that they were like clearly grateful for. Like he'd done work for them and stuff. But it's like you can like deny that there aren't sexism issues in the industry, but there clearly are. I remember back in like 2020 when streaming was like everyone was streaming because you were locked indoors and stuff. I remember just watched being on stream, even like some of my mates were just like, if we were playing like Among Us with other women streamers, they would just like shout over them and just like say nasty things and shit. And it was like, you wouldn't do that if it was a dude.
It's one of them incidents that just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. There's no reason that this should have happened, and it just sort of gives you a really like uneasy feeling that there's people, because like there's clearly people out there still doing shit like that.
Yeah, and like, it's so site wide as well. Yeah. But it's almost like this. It's weird because I think people think because YouTube and Twitch isn't Hollywood, it's like the alternative media sort of thing. They're like, oh, Harvey Weinstein-esque stuff can't happen on YouTube. But I'm sorry, mate. Like that it's just as right.
I think it's more likely because there's like
there's
so
less
many.
Regulation.
There's just so many vulnerable people in like the online sort of space.
Yeah, these are people who aren't. They're not media trained. They're literally new to this sort of thing. Like when you're in Hollywood, most people in that industry have been in that industry. You know what I mean? From like a kid. I've only been in the YouTube space a few years, and everyone has only been in it for a few years. So like we're all like kind of like babies in this whole thing. So like it's very easy to get taken advantage of. And in comparison to, I'm not saying you can't in Hollywood, but I'm saying like it's more people are vulnerable in this industry.
Yeah, I know what you mean. They're not like business smart people, are they? Yeah, these are just normal people.
Mate, do I look business smart to you? I am a stupid little.
No, you've been walking around the flat with your little bum crack out all day.
I have a big bum. I've got a big tush tooth, and maybe I shouldn't make jokes in a clip like this. Yeah, it's quite just a wild thing, and yeah, as I was saying, it's just this wider site issue of just, as you were saying, like people aren't business privy, and I'm not blaming anybody here, by the way. I'm just saying like it's more rife in this community because
it's easier to be taken advantage of, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and there's most people in this community are young. There aren't many 40-year-olds that are leading the game, sort of thing. The main streamers are like in their mid-20s or even in their early 20s or even teenagers still.
Yeah, but even so, if you're spending hours a day streaming, or even like the fans where you're watching streams all day, you're going to be open to a lot of weirdos, you know, watching your stuff and getting in contact.
But you've also got to think, this dude is like a high up, and he's clearly like in the money, like he can get people deals and stuff. As I was saying, you're young, you're coming into a new industry, you're also getting offered a lot of money. This is the thing. When I came into YouTube, you don't realize that there is a lot of money in the industry. And when you've got these people, especially I imagine in that industry, like Pokimane and stuff, they're probably getting offered crazy deals. And I think these people think because they're doing that, offering these deals and stuff, that they can take advantage.
No, exactly. I don't think it's
entitlement.
I don't think it's a case of money and power even corrupting you. I just think you're already corrupt. And because now you've got like money and power, you're in a better position to like do what you want to do and like commit these heinous acts.
Yeah. Again, this keeps on happening. Like I swear, every month or so, there is like another story of like this Twitch employee did this, and I know it's not come out as a Twitch employee, but given the fact that Critical said he thinks it's a Twitch employee, I'm like kind of led to believe it is, because that man knows people. You know what I mean? He's been around for time. He is one of like the people who are actually experienced in the industry. To be fair to him, but I don't know. There is just like, it is quite sickening how people are still treated like this. And there was that other scandal. I don't know if you saw it the other week. There was the deepfake scandal with that streamer making deepfakes of his mates and stuff, like paying. But it's like so. Yeah, no, I
did see that. That was awful, to be fair.
Mate, what the fuck? What is going on over at Twitch? People can say YouTube is mental, but Jesus Christ, man, over on Twitch, it's like a different ball game. People like, I feel bad. Like Pokimane gets a lot of heat, and I think a lot of it is actually quite unjustified. There's things which I've disagreed with and stuff, but like the level of shit she gets in comparison to people that truly deserve shit is insane.
I don't think some people realise how awful it is for like deep fakes to exist of people.
It is,
because
it is sexual assault. I don't care what anybody says. It is online. It's a new form of sexual assault. And mate, the fact that there aren't more laws around, I guess it's because it's a new technology, but next 3 months, guarantee you, new AI laws are going to come in. They're going to be banning the voice stuff. They're going to be banning so much stuff, and it needs to happen because it's actually getting quite jarring, even for me. You can now take a video of somebody, put it into like a generator, pay a little fee, like $5 fee, and then it will like make an AI voice of you or me. Like if they submitted our podcast, they could replicate us saying anything, and it sounds legit, man, and that's terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, it's only going to get worse.
Yeah, because this technology has only really come about in like the last 6 months, and every single day, mate, on my TikTok feed is, to be fair, as much as I hate it, some of it's quite funny. I've got like Joe Biden, Barack Obama, and Donald Trump playing like Minecraft together and shit with like AI deepfake voices, and it's like that is hilarious, but obviously it can be dangerous. Though, it's very dangerous. It's such a dangerous technology. It's not only with that QTcinderella situation, it's also with Pokimane, because this guy's doing the exact same thing.
It also like blurs the lines between what's real and what's fake to the point where like
AI is
it's going to be at the point where like courts and like finding people guilty of stuff is going to end up being near enough impossible in some cases.
I think that AI is genuinely, like, as somebody that literally, I studied it in my degree. Like, I have like an actual like some level of qualification in artificial intelligence. Even compared to back then a few years ago to where it is now is genuinely insane.
Yeah.
And there's like, I can't remember the name of the law, but in like computing, there's a certain law where it's like the process, it's something like the amount of like units in like a processor doubles every certain amount of years or something. I think it's called Moore's law. I think if you know computer science, you know what I'm talking about. But it seems like even that's being applied to AI, where AI is just excelling every single day, because it's like you've got the building foundations now, so now you can just keep leveling up, and it's like getting to this terrifying thing, and it's like now deep fake stuff is getting into video of like actual like adult content, which I still don't get how this isn't illegal.
Do you remember what did it used to be called? It was a bit like AI back in the day used to be so primitive, where you'd just like have a conversation with a bot, and like half the time you wouldn't even be able to have like a coherent conversation.
It was like a meme. It's that fucking talking Tom or something. The cat.
But now it's like to the point where you genuinely don't know if what you're watching is true or not.
Yeah, and now you've got even things like ChatGPT, which has been dubbed as a good thing, but people are using it to like get their work done instead of help their work. But I'm like, mate, eventually that shit is just going to replace you. Like, well, God, I'm lucky to be in a job where I think that an AI can't replace what I do, because I think a lot of it is like personality based, and you come for a person to talk about things, right?
Yeah, well, that's the thing where like people are finding it really cool that like AI can make songs and art and stuff.
Mate, I saw that AI made anime recently, and it looked fucking shit.
But even if it looked great, there's nothing impressive about that, because you want to. The whole point of these are like they're people putting passion into things that they believe they're good at.
And I hate to sound like a boomer, but like it is so unbelievably soulless. Like there's never going to be a case of where AI can replicate like soul, just like the personality of humans and stuff. I know the technology is going to get better, and there's going to be a few virgins that comment on this, be like, oh, well, it's still cool though, isn't it? It's like, mate, it's not. It's just fucking weird. Like, it's just, and again, it's also another excuse for people to pay their employees less as well, because they'll just be like, oh, I can just get AI to do it for free, and it's like, oh, well, fuck. You know what I mean?
It's just like
there's going to be like an actual rebellion against AI. I'm genuinely convinced.
It gets to the point where people have no personality whatsoever, because all the content that they consume has been made by nobody.
It's actually like a really sad, depressing world, and all those like dystopian movies from like 20 years ago are kind of actually like starting to get to like a really freaky place.
It's a bit like when you find like sad old men that like fall in love with their like sex dolls and stuff.
Well, there's that replica AI thing.
Yeah, the replica.
That is mad.
Mate, they took out the naughty chat function, and it is.
Did they?
Yeah, and people are not happy about it.
Mate, I was gonna make a whole video about it. Like, I started writing a script about it.
Yeah, it's
stuff.
really funny because they're like, I want to undress you, and then and then the like replica bot is like, let's talk about something else.
Well, It's such a weird thing, man. But
imagine getting rejected like that in real life. Oh, let's get down and dirty. Do you want a cup of tea?
Is that what it does now?
No, it just says, let's talk about something else.
Jesus. I mean, but yeah, as we were saying, with like the whole conversation today, is that AI is in like a horrific, creepy stage right now, and it's only going to get worse. And like with this streamer stuff, it's another case of it. Like, man, it's just scary.
Because it's so unregulated at the moment. People can like do some bad things with it.
Yeah, and I hope to God, like, I'm not somebody that usually is like desperate for the law to clamp down, but man, this is different territory. They need to clamp down on it, because this is like, it's replicating human actions about humans actually doing them in terms of like fucking adult content and saying things and stuff, man. Like, it's going to get to a point of where streamer is going to get cancelled for saying a bad word that they didn't even say. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, we'll just wrap that up by saying it's, again, to go to the Pokimane and the QTcinderella stuff, just absolutely horrific for a multitude of obvious reasons.
As sick as it gets.